Hey, yo.
If I can be serious for a minute.
Oh, yeah. Acknowledge me.
What up, what up, what up? It's your boys, the Sit Down Marks, episode number 95. Welcome, everybody. Come on in, gather around. What's going on? Let me say hi to the fellas. What's going on, Primo? How you feeling tonight, brother?
What is up, man? Episode 95, that just sounds crazy, doesn't it?
Man,
That's
just a
just wild.
couple less. We
I
got
know.
less than 5 episodes to hit 100.
That's
Yeah.
so, I just can't believe that. I mean, we just started this nearly 2 years ago, and wow, nearly 2 years ago. Was it really nearly 2 years ago?
February will be 2 years.
Jesus.
Yeah, that's right around the corner. Yeah.
Time. Yeah, all right, man. Yeah.
Boy, does it go, man. Does
Yeah.
it go. Yeah. How about you, AJ? Y'all pumped up for episode number 100?
Yeah, AJ, what do you think about all that?
Ah, yes. Oh, AJ. Well, he's a busy man. He is out fighting crime once again. He has,
Yep.
holiday places he's got to be and see and
Yep.
do. Like he's a man about the town. So,
That's
but
right.
fear not, the man is still alive. He's still surfaced, and he will be back next week. So you'll hear him back here on this podcast right here next week for our. Yep, there he goes, and he's off
Yep.
once again.
He's off.
And he's off. Welcome to the Best Kept Secret in Wrestling podcast. That's right, the Sit Down Mars podcast. Thank you to everyone listening all year long. You guys have heard me say it all year. You know what platform you're listening from. Go leave us a review, please. Check it out. We thank you guys so much for supporting us. We've had a lot of success lately, as you heard me say, on the charts, so to speak. And that's all because everybody's checking out the pod, and we thank everybody out there for listening. And excited for what 2023 is going to bring. But for right now, we want to also thank Thomas Bryce. Happy holidays to everybody over there at SportzWire Online Radio for playing us all year long as well. So thank you to all those guys and all our brotherhood of pods out there, AWI Pod amongst others, and want to wish you guys all the best. So remember to tell a friend as you've been doing, and please go leave us that review on whatever platform you listen from. Primo, let's kick it off, man. Let's see what the old poppity pop 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 of the jukebox has today.
Oh, Jukity Box, baby. Let's go.
You gotta hear that scratching in there.
Yeah. I like this. This is the original version. Before they did drop the bombshells.
Right. Get up, drop the bombshell. Yeah, that one.
Dilly Boys always had good songs.
They did. They always had, and I always loved the pyro that crossed. Like, yeah. So that it always got you pumped up. But the old Dudley Boys from Dudleyville.
Yeah, that's good. I like that a lot.
That was a good one, man. It was a good one. Good choice there by the old jukebox. All right, welcome to the show, everybody. I am the Dirty Bird. That is my guy, Primo. We're going to bring you through the world of wrestling this week, and it's time to talk about what we're going to talk about. So, look, man, it was an absolute incredible weekend of Iron Spirit Pro and Dreamwave, one of the absolute best weekends of my life in wrestling. I'll touch on that here a little bit later. And also, Primo, well, we were going to play a little game of square circle questions. We don't have, a third guy here, so we'll come back to that later, of course, because AJ.
Maybe I'll just have you guess one of them. Just guess one.
That'll work. He's going to take his Whoville Seasons Beatings Christmas Candy on a Pole ass beating one way or the other. So, but nonetheless, we're going to have some fun. Primo's went back into the archives for the Dropkick discussion this week, and he's going to bring to light a top 5 that we talked about back in the day. So that's always fun to go and see what we were into at the moment, or what we were talking about anyway. So that's going to be fun. We're going to be talking about all the latest in wrestling and much more. And so also it's almost time for the holidays. So thanks again for so much for letting us be in your ears while you are shopping for those Roddy Piper socks, for your mom, or that Mankind mask for your grandma. She wants that, right?
Yeah. What about that cereal that AJ had?
I don't know. I just remember Stacker too.
Yeah, he had the cereal that he ate. He also had the Authors of Pain poetry book.
Yes, all that good stuff. Yeah. Plus, how about an MJF scarf for your friend that you could kind of like buy it for them? Like, oh, that's nice, and they would wear it. But they don't know nothing about wrestling.
Maybe a replica Burberry belt.
True. Yeah. I bet those are high dollar right now.
Oh,
I bet those would be a hot commodity for Christmas for the major marks out there, so to speak.
Oh yeah.
For sure. But nonetheless, man, it's I mean, I take a scarf. If somebody buys me MJF scarf, sure, I'll wear it. Why not? Best heel in the game right now. So
right.
Yeah. All right, Primo, if you're ready, man, hit my shit. Let's roll.
Hit my shit.
Boom.
Every time.
What up, Mr. Cage Tyler, sweetheart?
This is the wild child, Connor Hopkins.
This is Christian Rose.
Yo, this is the most dope, CJ Esparza.
This is the Croc Rocket, Nickelback poppin', curls for all the girls, the Perminator, Sam Beal.
And you are listening to the Sit Down Marks podcast.
And you are listening to the Sit Down Marks podcast with DB, Primo, and AJ.
With Primo, DB, and AJ on the Sit Down Marks podcast.
And I am on the Sit Down Marks podcast, and we're going to get some perfection today, baby.
Boom, boom, boom.
Boom, boom, boom. All right. So it's ironic that CJ Esparza and Christian Rose was in that intro there, Primo, because these guys had pretty big weekends, man. Let's start off with Friday night at Iron Spirit Pro. Another great card, another big crowd. It was very, very exciting this night because in the rematch, in the main event, CJ was able to come away with the win. And CJ Esparza is now your brand new Iron Spirit Pro champion, the second ever Iron Spirit Pro champion. So congrats to him.
Yeah, congrats.
Yeah, I actually seen him a lot this weekend, so he was very excited. We were talking about Brubaker and almost 3-year reign as champion. So that was kind of a little bit of an end of an era there. But awesome matches, a great crowd. Love Iron Spirit Pro's passionate fans. They were really into it, and it was kind of one of those feelings. If CJ hadn't have won, they would have been. They might have would have rioted. It would have been first riot ever in wrestling in Bloomington Normal. But
it was time.
Yeah, it was time. So super exciting. Congratulations to CJ. Looking forward to see what he can do with this title run. So now we get a little bit of a break as come January 27th. We're going to have in the main event, it's going to be we're going to crown the first ever Iron Spirit Pro Tag Team Champions, as 815 guys are very familiar with on the pod here. It's going to be taking on technical difficulties. These two are the top two tag teams in Iron Spirit Pro, and they have been given the feat of going against each other for these titles to see who can be the number one tag team in Iron Spirit Pro and hold on to these tag titles and be the first ever to do it. So it's a pretty big deal. It's a pretty big deal. So that was going down January 27th back there in the Normal Community Center in Normal, Illinois. So that was going to be a big one. We'll be talking about that a lot later as matches are announced. So, and then let's flop to Saturday night, man. Let's talk about it. Dreamwave Wrestling. Well, I mean, going into last week, Primo, we talked about, I wasn't able to talk about what my role was going to be
Right.
on screen. It's not a commissioner. It's not a GM role. Let's just say I deliver information and announcements from Dreamwave Management.
Right. You're like,
Does that sound good?
may I have your attention, please? Like,
Yes.
remember when Michael Cole used to do that? Yeah, I'd say that's, or you could be
Yeah.
like Bad News Barrett. I'm afraid I've got some bad news.
Bad news. Well, I made my IWTV debut this weekend. My voice made the debut first because it caught me telling everybody, because there was a lot of people sitting in the front row that had just general admission seats, which was no.
I thought it was the commentators followed up on that. There's like, a bunch of freeloaders out there.
Oh man, Gage and Kyle, an awesome commentary team. But yeah, it was an amazing night. I got to come out and make some announcements. I got to first thing is Gringo Loco won the Dreamwave Alternative title, and I got to come out and let him know that Dreamwave Management was booking him versus Black Taurus, Ray Horace, and El Io del Vikingo, the AAA Mega Champion. He's putting the title on the line against those three guys as if he next month in February, as if he. I mean, that's a hell of a first title defense. Like, holy shit! So, but yeah, and also then I got to come out later and let everybody know about who was all going to be at the show in February, which I announced was Hacksaw Jim Duggan, Nick Aldis, the franchise Shane Douglas. Raven is going to be there because he was supposed to be at this show. Now he's going to be at this one. Little Guido, Nunzio, whichever you want to call him, he's going to be there. And then all your Dreamwave stars, of course. And so another loaded card coming up in February. But so that was really cool, man. And just, man, I'm just so thankful to Jay to let me, be a big part of this, probably the coolest thing, man, is I got to work in Gorilla most of the night, and kind of help make sure things went smoothly backstage, sending the guys out and that kind of stuff, and make sure everybody's in the right order and all that kind of stuff. So it was just an absolute blast, man. A Hartenbauer pop in LaSalle is like it's about like a Road Warrior pop, in Chicago back in the old days, if the arenas were that close to the same size, but on an independent level, I guess you'd say. So that was really cool to hear that from behind the curtain, to see these guys transform, man, right before they go to the curtain, because once, they're standing there with me at the curtain, or I was standing next to them at the curtain, once they go through, IWTV was set up backstage too, so I got to watch the monitors so you can see, how these guys just jump right in.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
It's a whole cool thing.
Yeah, it really was cool. A lot of the guys that have been on our podcast was in the Good as Gold Rumble. And the Good as Gold Rumble that happened at the end of the night, the winner gets a shot at Vic Capri's Dreamwave title, Dreamwave Championship title. And it come down to, spoiler alert, if you haven't watched the replay or anything, I'm about to talk about the finish here. So amazing matches, though, throughout the card. But it come down to Christian Rose and Brubaker. Final two, Christian Rose was able to get the win. The Coyotes, they all come out and celebrate. And, Christian cuts a promo on restoring the order of Dreamwave Wrestling, and he's going to be at the top of the food chain there. So he's got a World Dreamwave Championship title match now with Vic Capri in February. So I actually just talked to him today, and he's going to come on the pod, man. Talk about the match later on in February, and so that's going to be a cool one to kind of dip. We've talked to him before. This time we're going to talk Dreamwave. We're going to talk the history of Dreamwave, how he, got built up, because you heard him saying on this very pod that there's no Dreamwave without Christian Rose. So we're going to talk about why, and how it's come to this point, and
He's got a banner.
Yeah, he's got a banner. I mean, that's how important it is. There's not a lot of banners there, but he's one of them. So, but thanks once again to Jay Hartenbauer, everybody associated with Dreamwave Wrestling. Had a ball as usual, and February is going to be awesome. I mean, you book like that, like who don't want to go to a card like that? I'm trying to fantasy book Nick Aldis against everybody on that card, like who I want to see, like who I want to see him wrestle. You know what I mean? I don't know. I kind of keep coming back to Hammerstone in a way, because Hammerstone's kind of hot right now. He's putting on a lot of good matches. He was at Dreamwave for the Rumble. He didn't wrestle a match per se, but
the Rumble was my favorite match, by the way. I really enjoyed that. I mean, I'm a sucker for Royal Rumble anyway, and that they kind of had the same format, and it was pretty cool.
Sure. And I want to say this too, man. Like, wrestling, from the outside looking in, from a lot of people can get shit on a lot of times. Let me tell you, man. Okay, I watched 30 guys go through that curtain, right? And let me tell you, man, every one of those guys back there, right before, they're going out, hey man, I love you. They're taking care of each other. Let's be safe, all that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? Like a genuine, like these guys, like want to put on the absolute best show possible, but absolutely genuinely care about each other at the same point and taking care of each other. So that was another thing. It was really cool to kind of see, these guys right before they came out. So that part was very, very, very cool to see, and then see him to come back through, the curtain with the excitement of having, as much fun as they did. Like, you know what I mean? Bucky and Eva Luno put on an awesome match, and they were super happy, about it. So yeah, it was just awesome, man. It's just good stuff. So a little peek behind the curtain, so to speak, a little inside baseball there. So, so we'll be talking about that much more later. Let's get to kind of what's going on TV right now, man. Let's dial back to AEW last weekend. Kind of associated with the same thing. AEW, ROH. Had a little bit of they had a pay-per-view last week, a lot of good matches. But on Dynamite and Rampage, though, Darby, Samoa Joe, I thought was awesome. Darby, is he getting more nuts by the minute or what?
Jeez, dude, yes. Oh my gosh. Like, he's just wrecking himself.
Yeah.
And, just some of the stuff. When he took that dive to the outside and Samoa Joe sidestep, just walked away like he usually does, and no-sold the dive, and Darby just crashed into the guardrail.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, but I thought the finish was really cool, how they did the coffin drop into the choke.
Same. Yeah, that was cool. Yeah, I like that too. FTR and Acclaimed was more fun than I thought it was going to be. That was great.
Yeah, continue on with that. Do more of that.
Yeah,
and also MJF and Ricky Starks on the mic together. Their verbal shots back and forth were really, really cool to watch.
He had the crowd chanting Maxi Pad.
Yep.
Called him Maxi Pad. I was like, no. I was like, that's a good one. That one might stick. I
mean, they were in somewhere where Ricky has a lot of history in Austin, and they're in that area. So
sure.
Of course, it was. He's not technically from Texas, but it was like a hometown crowd.
Right. And then what'd you think about Trent Seven showing up on AEW there in the main event? That was pretty wild seeing him. He's got some silver hair now.
Right.
Still doing the mustache gimmick.
Still doing mustache.
Yeah. Mustache Mountain, all that stuff.
Yeah, I kind of forgot didn't forget in a bad way, but like they picked the right amount of time for me to like it kind of like go to the back of my mind, and then he popped up, and I was like, oh shit, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, we kind of like seen him like a lot there for a while, and then once NXT UK became a thing, he kind of moved off NXT a little bit. But yeah, I was like, yeah, it's cool. I mean, I knew it wasn't going to be orange, but I mean, it was a good match. I always still liked this gimmick, you know what I mean? So it was fun. But so ROH had a pay-per-view, AEW, whatever you want to call it, man. Let's talk about these results real quick. I guess this one was early. Blake Christian, AR Fox defeated La Faction Ingobernables. But the early championship title change was Athena defeated Mercedes Martinez for the ROH Women's Championship. It's not really a little bit of a surprise, but interesting.
Yeah, that's cool though. That's good for Athena.
And these guys have old beef. Swerve in Our Glory defeated Shane Taylor Promotions, which back in the old days, Ring of Honor, Keith Lee was in Shane Taylor Promotions, kind of the early stages. And so they had a little bit of beef there. So that was kind of fun. Wheeler Yuta defeated Daniel Garcia. And then what I thought was
to become the new Pure, or yeah.
I guess he did. Yeah. To become the new ROH Pure champion.
Mm-hmm.
Briscoes defeated FTR for the ROH Tag Team Championships. That was big. What's FTR doing here? Are they dropping off some belts here? They getting a little too heavy. I mean, they have had them for a long time, I guess.
I mean, or maybe they want to have. This was FTR Briscoes 2 or 3. This is 3, I think.
I'm not sure. It feels like it should be 3. I feel like we watched it twice before.
Right.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Samoa Joe retained the ROH TV title versus Juice Robinson. And then Claudio Castagnoli regained the ROH World Championship. He defeated Chris Jericho, so he is new ROH champion once again. No real surprise there.
He tapped out to the swing.
Not
Chris
sure
Jericho did, yeah.
Was.
The submission, yeah.
Yep, sure did. Yep. Oh, interesting. I saw about all the way up to through FTR and Briscoes. I had to watch that one.
Right.
Yeah, so that was a good one. So yeah, it was pretty decent. I kind of feel like they need to separate. Let's separate, because intertwined, it doesn't make sense really.
FTR and Briscoe.
No, I'm sorry. ROH as a whole.
Oh, and AEW.
Yeah, like being intertwined. Like I feel like they need to break off, have their own show, or have their own. Let them have Fridays.
Stop being so intermingled.
Yeah, maybe make Dynamite a little longer and have ROH on Fridays or something. I don't know. Yeah, it just seems like, I don't know. But if they did that, they would probably they would do the same thing. They would probably just intermix all the talent instead of branding them, so to speak. Because I guess it would kind of like be like a little bit of a brand split, like a red and a blue. I guess.
Exactly. But, yeah, I see what you're saying, but
yeah,
all about money.
Sure. You got any more for AEW?
Yep.
So for Impact, man, they announced Hard to Kill is January the 13th. And that's where Jordan Grace is going to defend her knockout championship against none other
than Mickie James.
Hardcore country!
That's right. Is this where Mickie goes home? Or is this where she becomes champion for the last time?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like it's one of the two. I'm not sure.
I mean, it has to be one of the two. Those are the two options.
Sure. I'll say this right now. If this storyline, I don't know, I feel like if she was going to do it, it needs to go a little longer. You know what I mean? I think she's going to go down with the title. That's what I'm saying. You know what I mean? Like win it.
What if she wins?
Okay.
But doesn't win? Like Champion's Advantage. So like you can lose by countout or DQ.
Oh, right. Yep.
Yeah. So Mickey James could technically still win without getting the title.
Here's another thing too. I need to find out if this pay-per-view is on like their little Impact Plus service, or if it's actually like a legit one. So if it's like a legit one, I'm going with Mickey here for sure. But I don't know, just a choice. And also, Bully is going up against Josh Alexander that same night too. Delirious is coming to Impact. He's got a little promo cutting on there. So that's interesting. But that's all I got really for Impact.
Yeah, I didn't have much else either. Yeah.
A lot of setup. So let's move to WWE, man. They announced John Cena for the December 30th SmackDown. How about that? Old Cena coming back.
That is pretty crazy. I mean,
I love it.
It's cool. It's cool to see him come back, but it's getting rarer and rarer these days. Yeah. They also had Kurt Angle on the show celebrating Kurt's birthday.
Yep, that was cool. Yep. They were in Pittsburgh, so made sense. They did the milk truck spot. Wasn't near as good, but
they sprayed down Gable and Otis.
And a lot of the crowd. Kurt missed a lot.
Yes.
Kurt missed a lot. Yeah,
he's walking all right for having double knee surgery not too long ago.
Yeah. But overall, I think this was a decent spot. More and more, man. I think Chad Gable deserves more credit because, he's like one of the smarmiest little heels, and he's taking all the funny bumps right now and stuff.
And on top of that, he can freaking go.
Sure.
Yeah,
no doubt. Another thing too about Cena being on with Mania being at Hollywood next year.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's got to do something right. You know what I mean? So it'd be interesting to see if he dusts up with anybody or somebody chirps at him or something like that, or they might drop a little Easter egg of what,
It's hard because it's like,
right.
I don't know. You start thinking of as a fan, people wrestlers reach a certain status with you. And obviously Cena is like legendary status now. And it's like, who on the roster besides Roman, SmackDown roster, I mean, besides Roman, and we don't want to see Roman Cena again because we just saw it at SummerSlam.
Right. He's wrestling somebody. I just feel like he is.
I just wanted, who's worthy of Cena? Is my question.
Rollins?
But he's not on SmackDown unless he comes over just for that.
True. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know.
That'd be cool, though. I mean, I'd be happy to see him do something. It's weird not seeing him at last WrestleMania.
Right. I kind of like that they've been calling Ricochet the highlight of the night. That's kind of a cool little nickname.
I mean, he is.
For him. Yeah, for sure. I like he's getting a little bit of a push, too, a little bit of a talk. A lot of people, they're talking about him a lot more. So Rollins beat Lashley. He's the new number one contender to Austin Theory. So are they going to run that back? I mean, Seth don't win the title back, does he? Or
no, I don't think Seth wins the title. I think that they do this and move on, but it was a reason for what happened next, which was Lashley blowing up and then putting his hands on Adam Pearce.
Right.
And you're fired.
All right, so I thought about this. So is Adam Pearce probably the only guy to fire anybody like that on TV other than Vince in the history of WWE?
I want to see if Stephanie's done it before.
Yeah, you're probably right, yeah.
And Bischoff. Bischoff did.
You're fired. Just seemed
Bischoff,
funny.
Yeah.
I was like, I haven't heard that on wrestling TV in a while.
I remember there was this one episode of Raw where it was like either Chris Jericho, I think it was Chris Jericho. If he didn't win the main event, then he was fired. And that's one of the times it was 06 or so, one of the times Chris Jericho took off for a little bit.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Another thing, Monday Night Raw. So we thought Bailey was going to have another number one contendership, but it's Alexa. And on top of that, I thought it was really cool for like the split second she kind of looked badass, like she in that Sister Abigail position.
Right.
Not gonna lie, it did look pretty sick. And then she like snapped out of it. That's a cool little thing.
Yep. Small little teases.
The best thing about all of Raw, though, for me anyway, was definitely
He talks like Elias. He sounds like Elias. Because that's Elias, okay?
Because Kevin Owens is giving an interview backstage, right? And then Elias comes up and starts talking and requesting Kevin Owens' help later in the show. And Kevin Owens is just mind blown at the audacity of Elias to come request help from him. And he's like, you think I forgot everything that happened?
Oh, yeah, man. He's gold.
Yes, it was so good.
Yeah. So, I mean, I was with Rumble still being at the end of January, so we're still probably a good 5 weeks away from Rumble. So we got a lot of prep time here.
Yeah.
Before we get there to making matches for that. So that's gonna be cool.
That's crazy.
Let's talk NXT, man. You got some results, man.
This was NXT Deadline.
Pretty legit pay-per-view.
So obviously to start off the show, we had Alba Fire versus Isla Dawn, which the victor was Isla Dawn. We had the Women's Iron Survivor Challenge between Zoe Starks, Cora Jade, Kiana James, Indy Hartwell, and the winner, Roxanne Perez, new number one contender at that time. Men's Iron Survivor Challenge was between Carmelo Hayes, JD McDonough, Joe Gacy, Axiom, and the winner, Grayson Waller. Waller is the new number one contender to the NXT champion that had a match, Braun Breaker versus Apollo Crews for the NXT championship, which of course Braun Breaker retained. And the one match we're going to argue about, the NXT Tag Team Championship match. Your boys, the New Day, defeated Pretty Deadly to become the new NXT Tag Team Champions.
Yeah. All right. Let me get a couple notes out here before we talk about that match. So this pay-per-view or premium live event, whatever you want to call it, was good, man. It was good. Like I thought it was pretty legit. Every match was pretty awesome. I was, like into it. And I know I kind of was like, but the Iron Survivor Challenge, like if they did that every year, like once a year, I wouldn't be mad at it. It was a decent little concept. I can see how they could, wrestlers could play strategy and do like, things with the penalty box, and that kind of stuff. So, but yeah, but I thought it was pretty decent overall. So now, okay, yeah, I'm a Pretty Deadly fan, but I mean, no, I didn't like this because, New Day are already legends. I feel like they put the titles on them so they could have this Triple Crown status. You know what I mean? Like it was all about like getting their like accolades. You know what I'm saying? Instead of like now if they keep on with the storyline and maybe Pretty Deadly wins it back later. There's rumors that they're getting called up possibly too. So so that could possibly help. But I don't know. For me, sometimes, it seems like the right thing to do would have been to put them over first, and then maybe on down the line in the feud they could have the belts. Not kind of let them have it in the beginning and then do the feud. But I know it gives NXT's brand clout. It puts the New Day on TV, which is always ratings, no matter. You know what I mean? They're just good and fun to watch. You know what I mean? But I don't know. I just don't want to see them get buried over, because they wanted to do this little Triple Crown thing. Like, I'm not mad at it. I just don't. I don't know. I just don't like it. I'd rather see like the up and coming guys kind of stay on top right now, especially since it was kind of their brand and they're going down to or over to NXT. If Pretty Deadly was going to SmackDown, I would totally expect New Day to kick their tail. You know what I mean? But anyway, that's my piece. But I mean, I ain't mad at it. It's always entertaining, but I'm just kind of like, eh. But it's wrestling. I guess you got to wait it out. A lot of times, it's. But what'd you think? I know you loved it. You loved it.
Of course, I love the New Day.
Sure.
And
sure.
I also think that if the Dallas Cowboys come play a high school football team, they're going to win every time.
Mhm.
So that's the way it should be. But
Sure.
also all these new up and coming tag teams,
Right.
because NXT is still the developmental and performance center. They're getting to gain this knowledge right now while they have the New Day around, because they were on NXT as well on Tuesday.
Yeah.
So they're there, and they're there to ask them questions, to learn tag team tactics, to learn tag team psychology from the New Day, who are one of the winningest, if not the most. I think they are the most winningest tag team in the WWE.
Yeah. So they got to put the titles on to keep them happy, to make them stay down there.
Why does it? But it doesn't make sense for them to lose to a tag team. Like, I don't understand how a tag team with. And then I like Pretty Deadly too.
Sure.
But I don't understand. But for a tag team with not as many accolades and accomplishments and tenure to beat such a tag team.
Sure, but we're. I mean, it's about getting over, and I feel like if you're building somebody to get over, New Day's already been over. New Day can take the loss. That's why Jeff Hardy's lost so much. Seth Rollins lost so much. Triple H lost so much, but they were still over shit, so it didn't matter. You know what I mean?
I also think it would hurt them. It would not hurt the New Day in the long run, but right now I feel like they also need a victory because they just lost the record to the Usos.
Yeah.
So I mean, they would have lost again. Now they're losing to NXT tag teams.
Sure. Yeah, they can do a whole storyline where they come back out of the gutter and build the baby faces back up. But I mean, like I said, I'm not mad at it because it's still entertaining. And another thing too, I'll say another thing too. I try to think of is New Day is the now. I know that, and Pretty Deadly is the future.
The future,
You know what I mean?
absolutely.
So, so I understand that part of the business too. And I know it's about getting.
And in the end, we all know that in the end, Pretty Deadly, if not Pretty Deadly, another NXT tag team is going to be the ones to get over. Because New Day will do the job, drop the belts, and go back up to the main roster.
Oh yeah, and I hope they get a couple matches out of it at least.
And that's what I'm saying. In the meantime, hopefully they elevate their tag team division and teach them a thing or two.
Oh, for sure. I mean, they definitely want them around. But I thought that match was good, and New Day put them over too on the mic. About how good the match was, and that kind of stuff.
FTR put the match over.
Yeah, they did. Yeah. On a NXT note, so I meant to say this too. So as soon as the IWTV stream started, there was a couple guys in NXT that was doing like a house show or something that was watching the Dreamwave show backstage. So that was pretty cool.
That is cool.
Yeah, I heard about that. So that was pretty cool.
That's so cool.
But NXT, and then this the show with Roxanne Perez, cashed in last night, or so to speak, with
she won
Mandy.
the Iron Survivor Women's Challenge, and then on Tuesday, she cashed in right away, and then she dethroned the 413-day Women's Champion. Right,
so Roxanne Perez, your new NXT Women's Champion. And, we're talking about right before we went live here that she got into some internet trouble and posting
Mandy.
some things
Mandy Rose,
Mandy has, and which didn't go well didn't make WWE management happy. So, I mean, she got released, and so we'll see what happens there. Champion yesterday and released today.
Yeah. I mean, everybody knows what they're doing.
Sure.
Adult games have adult consequences. So,
yep.
Not saying, it's just how that is. I mean, they're a public company and all that. So, not saying I personally disagree with what Mandy's doing, but I'm saying that the company that she works for does,
Yeah, for sure. Yep. So, NXT picking up a little bit of steam. It was a little bit dull there for a little while. Interesting to see what Grayson Waller does with this. He attacked Braun already and stood over him with the belt, that whole thing. So we'll see what happens with that. But you got anything else for NXT, Primo?
That is it for NXT.
All right, man. How about a little sidestep here, man? We're going to jump over to a little promo school, a little unannounced promo school to get everybody ready for Christmas. We all love The Rock, of course. Everybody loves The Rock, right? Well, just for this edition here, one of my favorite things about Christmas is I always remember this 12 Days of Christmas that The Rock sang on SmackDown in 2001. And this particular promo was him in the ring. It's not very long, but he's referring to Test.
Test,
who, used to be with Trish Stratus and what was the tag team he was in?
TNT.
TNT, yeah.
Yeah.
No,
TNA.
TNA, yeah. Before there was TNA.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Test and Albert. That's what I was thinking. Yeah. So, this is a fun little promo here from The Rock. It's just always very entertaining. So here we go. Check it out. The Rock's 12 Days of Christmas from SmackDown 2001.
Seeing as this is the holiday season, we are all in the holiday spirit.
Oh, yeah.
Tess, there's a song, and it's called The 12 Days of Christmas.
Oh, one of my favorites.
And you see, Tess, The Rock wants to sing you 12 things that you can look forward to tonight.
What? Rock's gonna sing here on SmackDown? Oh, boy.
And The Rock will go slow at first for you, Tess, just so you can understand. It goes like this. On a night Tess faced the great one, this is what he'll see.
Wow.
12 sharpshooters stinging, 11 eyebrows raising, 10 spines a busting, 9 noggins knocking, 8 kicks a kicking, 7 punches punching, 6 suplex smashing, 5 seconds of the people chanting The Rock's name.
More than 5 seconds.
4 rock bottoms, 3 people's elbows on your 2 buck teeth, and then kicking all over New Orleans.
King, there's only one Rock. That'll put everybody in the Christmas spirit, except for Test.
Except for Test. That was longer than 5 seconds.
Except for Test. Good old Jerry the King Lawler there. So I always think about that during Christmas time, man, because I always remember him singing that 12 Days of Christmas.
Oh, yeah. I think we played it last year, too.
Up in one of the clips or something like that.
Yeah. I love it.
You probably did, yeah.
Very timely. I love it.
It is good stuff. And who don't want to hear The Rock sing? I mean, Rock's The Rock, right? So, good stuff.
So you heard the crowd go wild.
Yeah, every time, man.
All them ladies just left their men in their heads.
Yeah. All right, Primo, let's get rolling, man. Let's get to the Dropkick discussion of the week, brother.
Let's do that.
Hey guys, this is Mr. Havens, the Argyle assassin himself, giving them all the shivers.
This is the one and only Mike Hartenbauer.
This is Space Jesus, Billy Starks.
This is referee Dan Perch.
What's up, bozos? This is Trevor Outlaw.
You can address me as yours rudely. And you're listening to the Sit Down Marks podcast.
You guys are listening to Sit Down Marks podcast.
You're listening to Sit Down Marks podcast.
Come celebrate pro wrestling right here on the Sit Down Marks podcast.
With DB, Primo, and AJ.
With DB, Primo, and AJ.
With Primo, DB, and AJ.
And you're listening to DB, Primo, AJ here on the Sit Down Marks podcast, the best podcast for professional wrestling.
The best. All right. This is my turn, right? The Arcade discussion of the week. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry. The way you're looking at me. Yeah. No, yeah. Dropkick. I did what you do. Dropkick discussion of the week this week. We are choosing former top fives that we had done in the past. And I did go with the same thing, but this one is actually from episode 10. It's a top 3.
Ooh, okay.
Yes, episode 10 is top 3, and it involves myself, AJ, Michael, and DB.
All right.
All 4 of us. So it was the first episode we had Michael on, actually. Oh, cool. Anyway, the top 3 is our top 3 favorite feuds of all time. Now, let's see how these favorite feuds hold up and see if any feuds from the past year or two since we made this would maybe take their place on the list.
Okay.
Starting with Michael, his 3 feuds from 3 to 1. Surprising to all of us, all the rest of us, because I did listen back to this. It was Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn.
Okay.
Yeah, fair. That's a good feud. Yeah.
Yeah, always good one.
He said anytime Owens and Zayn are fighting, he's got to stop and watch, which is fair. His number 2 feud was Kane and Undertaker. And his number 1 feud was Ric Flair and Dusty Rhodes, baby.
Dusty Rhodes. The baby clothes master himself.
Which leads me to AJ.
All right.
Whose number 3 was Sting and Ric Flair. Good feud. Great feud.
Yep.
Number 2 for him was Hulk Hogan and Macho Man. Ooh, yeah.
Yeah, that went for me, but
yeah, the Mega Powers.
Yeah.
And then his number 1 was Stone Cold and The Rock. Now you'll see an ongoing theme here. This is like one of the first ones where we each started having like one of each other's on the list.
Yeah.
So DB
he threw the title in the river.
Yeah, he did. So he threw the
IC title, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Rock?
Yes, and also he threw the Smoking Skull belt too, like later on.
Yeah.
So DB, yours.
All right.
Off the top of your head, do you think you remember him?
Feuds. I probably had to think about this. Midnight Express Rock and Roll was one of them. No.
Nope.
Oh, good Lord.
Top 3.
What is wrong with me? All
right, I'll go ahead.
Flair and Steamboat.
Yep. Nope.
Okay, Flair and Steamboat.
Flair and Sting was yours.
Okay, Flair and Sting.
As your number 3.
Yeah. How about Rock and Roll Express 4 Horsemen?
Negative.
No.
Those are probably made your top 5 if we did top 5. So number 2 for you was Stone Cold and Vince McMahon.
Yeah. If I thought long enough, I'd have brought that one on for sure.
And you had the same number 1 as Michael with Ric Flair and Dusty Rhodes.
Yeah. That's just my childhood.
Yeah. And then myself, I had some different ones. Actually, looking at this list, I actually had different ones.
That's what my honorable mention was. Jimmy Valiant.
Yeah, right.
Best Watley.
Yes. That's when you introduced us to it, all that.
That's right. Yeah.
Okay. So, mine was number 3 was Kane and Shane McMahon.
Okay.
My number 2 was Triple H versus HBK. after HBK came back. HBK came back.
Okay.
02 to like 06 there. That feud was so good. And my number one feud was also Stone Cold, but not Stone Cold and McMahon. It was Stone Cold and The Rock.
The Rock. Yeah. Yeah. Such a classic.
So all those, like I said, yours are Sting and Ric Flair, Stone Cold and McMahon, and Ric Flair and Dusty Rhodes. Have there been any feuds in the past 2 years that may take one of those off the list?
I mean, all those FTR Briscoe matches have been good. I'd have to think about that one. For a moment.
To be honest, for me, no. Yeah. Because the three that I chose, there's like story and they pull emotion from you. That's why that's why I chose the three that I did, was because those take me back to when I was watching those and so invested because they had a whole story, you know?
Yeah. I guess I was thinking more along matches than feuds. But yeah. So you're most likely not.
Yeah. So that was my top 3 favorite feuds for this Dropkick Discussion of the week.
Episode number 10. You remember what date that was?
Episode number 10. It was probably in May.
Yeah. Holy cow. Yeah. That was a long time ago. Because the one I did was episode 22. So those were super early. Yeah, like I said, first time Michael had ever been on.
Episode 22, yeah. Let's see. I'm scrolling all the way to the bottom of episode. Yep, man, I was right. May 20th.
Wow.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Yep. Good stuff, man. So next week is the Christmas episode. So the week after that, AJ is going to do the same thing and dive back into the archives one more time for the last time of the year for the Dropkick Discussion. So that's what'll be on tap coming up with that. So, all right. So I'm going to take a second here to plug our merch. Go check it out at www.tpublic.com/stores/sit-down-marks. That's tpublic.com/stores/sit-down-marks. You can go to tpublic.com, just put in sit-down marks on the search engine. They were guaranteeing Christmas deliveries all the way up until I think maybe today or tomorrow, something like that. But if you want to go check out what we got in store there for all your Christmas buying needs, go check them out. And like we've been telling everybody, anything bought at the store goes right back into the pod and helping us bring on guests and that kind of stuff. So looking forward to seeing what kind of merch we can come up with in 2023. So, all right, no squared circle questions today, Primo. But you said you got a little question to throw out at me. Let's see. What you got for me, brother?
Yeah, man. I just had this one because I was really excited about this pay-per-view.
Okay.
Because it's right up your alley.
All right.
Your time frame, your stuff. Sweet. So let's just talk about the pay-per-view. Let's see if any of this rings a bell.
Okay.
Don't take too long on it. It was May 19th, 1990 in Washington, D.C. at the D.C. Armory. There were 7,500 people in attendance. It was a promotional crossover due to the imminent release of RoboCop 2.
Oh.
Yes. The commentators on this night were Jim Ross and Bob Caudle. The interviewers on this night were Tony Schiavone and Gordon Soley. The card was Norman the Lunatic and the Road Warriors with Paul Ellering defeating Kevin Sullivan, Cactus Jack, and Bam Bam Bigelow with Oliver Humperdinck. Mark Callis with Teddy Long defeating Johnny Ace. The Samoan SWAT team defeating Tommy Rich and Mike Rotunda. This one's good. I like this one. Paul Ellering defeating Teddy Long in a hair versus hair match.
Yes.
Midnight Express, Bobby Eaton, Stan Lane defeating Brian Pillman and Tom Zink for the NWA United States Tag Team Championships.
The Z-Man, Tom Zink.
After the United States Tag Team Championship match, Gordon Soley reported from backstage that RoboCop had arrived to the building, followed by RoboCop and Sting entering the arena moments later. During the segment, the Four Horsemen came to ringside to attack Sting, locking him in the cage that Jim Cornette had been confined to earlier in the night. Moments later, RoboCop ran off the Horseman and then pulled the door off of the steel cage to free Sting. Next up, they had the Rock and Roll Express, Ricky Morton, Robert Gibson defeating the Fabulous Freebirds in a corporal punishment match. And second to last, we had Doom, Ron Simmons and Butch Reed with Teddy Long defeating the Steiner Brothers for the NWA World Tag Team Championship. In the main event,
they were hoods.
They did. Lex Luger defeated NWA World Heavyweight Champion Ric Flair by DQ in a steel cage match. However, Flair retained, and he would later drop the belt to Sting at Great American Bash.
Oh man, awesome stuff.
Yeah, that was. Go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say, I mean, of course, I watched this. I remember it. I can't remember which was the name of it. Was it Slamboree?
No, it was. I'll just tell you what it was. It was NWA WCW because it was 90, so they were just now. WCW was new.
Yeah.
It was Capital Combat because they were at DC. Yeah.
Yes. Yep. I remember that. That was so cheesy.
Man. Yes, they said that segment with RoboCop saving Sting has often been cited as one of the worst moments in WCW's history, and one of the events that inspired the creation of the website WrestleCrap.
Oh yeah. It was cringe, man. It was cringe for sure.
Oh man. Oh, RoboCop. Love it.
Yep. Oh, RoboCop. Oh, good stuff, man. All right, so we'll circle back to circle questions later. All right, Primo, it's looks like me and you are going to take over AJ's segment here for the week.
Let's do it.
Kick that AJ's intro.
You don't like this.
AJ's clip of that? No. You know what? It's Dirty Bird's world now. Of the week.
Hell yeah. I'm taking over your segment while you out there fighting crime, you piece of
Dirty
shit.
Bird's world this week.
Right. Dirty Bird's world now. DIRTYBIRD.
Yeah,
DIRTB.
Double. My world.
Oh, man. All right, so for AJ's segment today, we decided to also jump back into the archives. This was in the late 90s. There was a funny little spot scene on Monday Night Raw with Stone Cold Steve Austin where Santa Claus is in the ring. And he comes in the ring and runs off a little kid that's in the ring. And so Stone Cold comes out to make the save. But it's a funny little bit here. Yes, we know it's going to end up with Santa taking the stunner, right? And I think his beard falls off and all that funny stuff. But the interaction and the exchange between Santa and Stone Cold here is very funny. So it's a good little set of audio here for you. So take a second, check this out, man. Stone Cold versus Santa Claus here. This is good stuff. Check it out.
Be good right here. This. Yeah, this
Merry
can't
Christmas,
miss.
Mr. Austin. Ho, 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 ho. Oh, hell yeah. You come out here expecting Sable. The kid comes out here. You kick the kid out of the ring. You shouldn't have done it. You know what I'm saying? I expected Sable, Mr. Austin. I don't give a damn who you expected, son. You don't kick the kid out of the ring. He said you wasn't the real Santa. I am the real Santa. So you're the real Santa. Yes, I'm the real Santa. Are you the real Santa, or are you just a fat piece of trash? I'm a little round. All right, then, if you're the real Santa, hell, a few years ago, when Stone Cold was about 6 years old, and he'd been a good little SOB all year. That's true. That's true. When I was 6 years old, if you're the real Santa, what the hell did I ask for? Well, Santa's going to think about that for a minute, Mr. Austin. Speak up, son. I can't hear you. Santa has to think about that, Mr. Austin. It's been a long time ago. But let me think. I know I've got it. It's in my mind.
There's a lot of cocktails.
I think it was A Bobby doll and tiddlywinks. Yes, that's what it was, Mr. Austin. That's what you want. You wanted a Bobby doll and tiddlywinks. There wasn't no Barbie doll, and I can tell you what to do with every little one of you little tiddlywinks. That wasn't very nice, Mr. Austin. Let me take a little survey here. Shut up. Let me take a little survey here, son. You're damn sure fat enough to be Santa. You got your little rosy cheeks. I really don't know what to think. Stand up, son. Let me take a good look at you. Am I the real Santa Claus, everyone? Am I the real Santa Claus? Kid, do you say he's the real Santa Claus or not? He's not the Santa Claus. If he's not the real Santa Claus, give me a hell no.
Not looking good for Chris Kringle there.
Santa, straight from the bottom of Stone Cold's heart, I got a little Christmas present for you myself.
Oh! No! Stone Cold just stuttered Santa Claus! He cracked Chris's Kringle!
Oh, hell yeah!
Nobody but the rattlesnake! A Stone Cold stunner! Saint Nick!
Did you hear Jim Ross? He said stuttered. He just stuttered Santa Claus.
Stuttered Santa Claus.
He just stuttered Santa Claus. That was good shit, though, man. I love it. So you're the real Santa Claus. Yeah. So you're the real Santa Claus. Yeah. I just love the interaction, man. That was funny shit, man. Good stuff. And who don't love Stone Cold Steve Austin at Christmas time? I mean,
exactly.
You know, back in the 90s, it was good shit, man. It was good shit. All right, Primo, let's roll on over, man. Let's keep rolling here. Almost time. Let's get these headlines. Let's see what's going on in the world of wrestling headlines. What you got other than Mandy showing her parts?
Mandy, yeah. Other than that, that's probably the biggest news of the day.
Definitely.
However, earlier in the week, Matt Riddle. The reason he was not on TV this week, he was suspended for a wellness policy violation. He was actually that's kind of why before their SummerSlam match with Seth Rollins didn't take place, and then the Cash at the Castle thing didn't happen.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
is he fucking weed tests or what?
No, so they don't test for weed anymore.
They don't test that anymore, right? Okay.
So yeah, something else, and they sent him. So apparently they sent him to rehab too. So so I don't know like what's going on honestly, but as far as like what it is, the substance, but I just know that he is suspended, and until he attends, they gave him the same like the Jeff Hardy ultimatum, basically rehab or fired. So he chose rehab. Next up, according to WrestleNews.com, it's currently. Tell me what you think about this. It's currently rumored. Now, everybody out there, don't bash this too hard. We're talking about a rumor here. I'm not reporting anything. That Brock Lesnar will face Gunther at WrestleMania 39.
That'd be stiff as shit. I think I want that now.
Yeah. Because like apparently Gunther said that's one of his dream matches.
Oh wow! Whoa! I'll tell you what. That's my kind of shit right there. So. You know, I like the big boys slapping the meat, so let's, you know what I mean? Let's do it. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, I that's a little bit of a mind blower. I love that one.
So next up, PW Insider said Michael Mansouri, the former vice president of global television production for WWE, he no longer works for WWE. He's now been hired by AEW, and it will actually start tonight at AEW Dynamite.
Little crossover action.
Yeah, so Carl Anderson is slated to return to New Japan Pro Wrestling this Wednesday at 12/14. That's today for all you marks out there, to defend the Never Openweight Championship against Hikuleo. It is not intended to be his final appearance for the promotion. PWIinsider.com has learned from multiple sources that WWE and New Japan have come to terms on an agreement for Anderson to wrestle on the January 4th Wrestle Kingdom event. at the Tokyo Dome, making him the first ever contracted WWE talent to work New Japan's biggest event of the year.
Love it. Breaking down
That's pretty
walls,
cool.
breaking down barriers is great, man. He'll drop the
Yeah, man.
title there, but yeah, that's awesome. I love it. I like Carl too, man. Good for him.
And last headline I got here, according to Wall Street Journal, Vince McMahon has told people that he intends to make a comeback at WWE, saying that he received bad advice from people telling him to step down, and basically that like the investigation blew over more than he thought it would.
Right.
However, an hour later, Sean Ross Sapp
Right.
followed up an hour later saying that numerous WWE higher-ups that he has spoken to have indicated that they want nothing to do with Vince's comeback and are happy with the current direction. There doesn't seem to be one person there itching for a Vince McMahon return.
No, nobody is. Wrestling's, I mean, I would, with all due respect and no disrespect for what he's done for the business, wrestling is fine without him. Let's just move on. Let's just move on. You know what I mean? Just let it go away. Just right off into the sunset. Like, just, go chase your women. Go chase your women.
Yeah, I mean,
Whatever.
and that's another thing. Like, man, I'm enjoying WWE so much right now. Like,
yeah.
So yeah, so I just think that it's a good move for him to stay retired.
Agreed.
And that's it for the headlines.
All right, I'm gonna give you that preview next week. There, Primo, hit that soundbite for me, there, brother.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the King of the North and your mother's favorite wrestler, Gunner Brave, aka Gunther Bravo, on the luchador scene. And you are listening to the Sit Down Marks podcast with a couple of marks who seem to love me for so much reasons, but it's just because I'm that great.
That's right. It's just because he's that great.
I mean, he ain't lying. He is that great. He is one of my favorites out there. So, all right, so everybody gather around. Let's talk about next week. Next week, we're beginning to celebrate the holidays as well. So we're going to drop a little small pod, including our last interview with Gunner Brave. In case you missed it, it was a gem. It was a great interview. So check it out. If not, tune in. We did a little Christmas episode to kick off the show. Not much wrestling talk, but definitely some fun talk. Absolutely. So make sure you guys tune in, check that out. So we'll be talking about what wrestling gift we would like this year for Christmas. So make sure you guys tune in to see what our answers are for that. That is, Primo, considering that we all made the nice list. We may not have.
Yeah. I think that I could potentially squeak by. I did a couple nice favors recently. I told an extra old lady good morning this morning. So,
there you go.
I'm just trying to get in those last minute good deeds.
Sure. Yeah. Get them digs in before the cutoff, whenever that time is. But but
AJ definitely made the naughty list though.
Oh yeah, he's for sure. I mean, he is doing a lot of good deeds for the city, so fighting crime. So
yeah, that's AJ Batman.
But AJ will be here next week as well to talk about what he wants for his wrestling gift this year. But all right, everybody, see you all here next week. Please be safe. Happy holidays from all of us here at the Sit Down Marks podcast, and we thank you so much for the support. I do have a couple notes for us here going out here, Primo. We want to let the fans and everybody know that starting in 2023, the first podcast in 2023, we're going to be moving to recording on Mondays and dropping the pod on Tuesdays instead of the usual recording on Wednesdays and dropping on Thursdays. We're going to be moving it up, so we're getting those pods out to you earlier in the week to help you get you through the first part of the week. And it seems to be a quieter time in wrestling, so we think that'll help out a lot. And we've heard a lot of feedback from you guys, and a lot of people would like to hear it earlier in the week. So we're gonna do just that, and so excited for that starting in 2023. Our boy Brian Battle is going back into the UFC this Saturday. He is on the prelims about midway through the card. He our guy, we haven't got to talk about it for a while. He's been waiting on a fight. Once again, if I haven't talked about him in a while, Brian Battle, he is the reigning Ultimate Fighter champion in the UFC. He's could be 4-0 if he wins today, but he is the coach of my best friend's son. So I kind of been watching his progress to where he is now. So, but he took a fight on a short notice, man, because they kind of didn't really have too much for him, and he wanted to get it in before Christmas came around. So watch and check him out this Saturday. Also, thank you again to Iron Spirit Pro and Dreamwave for having us. It was an absolute great weekend. Congratulations to a former guest of the podcast, Miss Kate Primo. She just got signed by NWA on a multi-year contract. So congrats to Missa.
Yeah, absolutely. Congrats.
Yeah, I know she's excited for that, man. Who wouldn't want to be contracted by NWA, legendary promotion? So I know she's very excited. Got a lot of great things going on right now, but the greatest thing going on right now, Primo, is Kurt has made it. Kurt is back to spend the holidays with good old DB. We're going to have such a good time, fella. It's going to be good stuff. You want to say hi?
Yes, I do. Look at that little Primo Silver Fox title. You know that title? That little title is that piece of paper is 2 years old.
It's still hanging on.
Almost.
Like, he's got a little paper. He's the paper champion.
Yeah. He's the paper champion.
Yeah. So he finally made it home safely after going all across the world to get here.
That's wild.
Yeah. So he's made it home. So good stuff, man. So next week, like I said, Christmas episode dropping for you with the Gunner Brave encore interview, and AJ will be back. So we'll see you guys all here next week. Primo, you want to take us home, Daddy? Lucha Daddy.
Lucha Daddy. Happy holidays, maggots.
So, Merry Christmas to us. Sergeant Slaughter is a follower of the podcast. How cool is that?
Right. Super
you just
cool.
reminded me of that when you said maggots.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's why I said it.
Oh, I know. I meant to bring it up during the pod, but I forgot.
Yeah.
But I also
happy holidays, Sergeant Slaughter.
That's right. But I'm going to flip the script here, man. I'm going to take this time. I'm calling out you. The stand-up marks, you bunch of pussies. You're trying to rip us off. You're trying to rip us off our gimmicks. Well, we're going to sit you down because we're the sit-down marks. Nobody comes standing up around here, pal.
That's right.
Y'all better come next. You guys are done. You guys are over. 2023. It's the year of the sit-down marks.
Chairs are made for a reason.
Going home, brother. Top guys out. Sit down, guys.
Sit down.
Out.